As you can see, Addis Ababa is going up in flames. The whole city is burned to the ground. The seat of the African Union, the highest city in Africa, is becoming a playground for scavengers like hyenas, vultures, dragons and dinosaurs. The explosion here is so intense, it makes Hiroshima and Nagasaki look like fireworks. I just want to say, if I don't make it alive, make sure you tell my family I died saving humanity. BBC News. We tell so many lies and we are so envious we make the devil jealous. BBC News, propagating lies and information to invade the next nation. All hell has broken loose in the city of Addis Ababa. The war between the Ethiopian government and the rebels, as you can see, has turned Addis Ababa, the new flower, into modern-day Sodom and Gomorrah. It's raining fire in Adoginet, Shega. It appears there is no human life within the radius of 200 kilometers of Addis Ababa. What are you doing? Don't show the people. You bloody Jezba. Tabalan, let's do this again. All hell has broken loose in the city of Addis Ababa. The war between the Ethiopian government and the rebels has turned Addis Ababa, as you can see, into modern-day Sodom and Gomorrah. It's raining fire in Adoginet, Shega. The saddest part for me as a reporter and a humanitarian is when I came to Addis, I was entirely a white man. But now, because of the profound impact of the explosion and the smoke, as you can see, I have turned into this giant, big-boned, big-body, wide-nosed, big lips African male. Hello, I can hear you. So, what's the next invasion? What? There is no next invasion. Is Ethiopia winning, sir? Thank God. You know why? Because when we were white, I thought everything we did was right. But now that I'm black, there is no going back. BBC News, propagating lies and information to invade the next nation. Stay tuned and get screwed. You're now watching Al Jazeera, and now the headlines. Addis Ababa, also known as the New Flower, has lost its power. The sound of no life is no music to the ears. Addis Ababa is in complete ruins. Syria ain't got no shit on Addis. Stevie Wonder could see there's nothing left here to see. Some of the creatures walking you might see are not what they seem. They are actually Ethiopian zombie survivors from the blast. God help us all. African zombies seem so real and normal. Al Jazeera, the desert propaganda voice of the sand cobra. Al Jazeera Habibi, the Caucasian baby, remember your daddy. Stay tuned and get screwed. You are now watching CNN, and now the headlines. Game over. It looks like the war is finally over. Triumph is surely the middle name for the TPLF. The people with nerves of steel. Billions of dollars they know how to steal. The rebels are the undisputed champions of war. They are so victorious, they left Mekele, came all the way to Addis Ababa, retreated back to the north, saving their own asses, and finally seized their own capital with sheer bravery. The TPLF is the epitome of courage. CNN will say whatever you want it to say, as long as you pay. CNN propagating lies and information to attack the next nation. Stay tuned and get screwed. Breaking news, and now the headlines. The rebels have hijacked one of the Ethiopian Airlines planes and have crushed it right into the African Union building you see behind me. The birthplace for the Pan-Africanism has become the place for the rebels' terrorism. The rebels are not paying me enough. So far, there are no survivors. Eyewitnesses testify the situation was so chaotic, they have seen His Majesty Haile Selassie's statue running for his life. This is surely the African version of September 9/11. The next step is expected to be the invasion of Ethiopia, just like Afghanistan, to once and for all stop this terrorism. On the other hand, the Chinese are furious. They are saying all this hard work, the African Union building, for nothing. Finally, before the Chinese evacuated, they said, "We love Ethiopians and Africans, but there is no free lunch or rice. Africa cannot even pay us in big supply of mice." BBC News propagating lies and information to neo-colonize the next nation. BBC News running out of lies, spies and rebel ties. Stay tuned and get screwed. This is not fair to Muscle Square. The site, known for tourist attraction, has become the rebels' infestation. The rebels have seized control of Addis Ababa. Even Getachew Reda started drinking only 3 liters of vodka on a daily basis. What a bloody jezba. The situation is so chaotic in the diplomatic city of Africa. Even the local residents of Addis are evacuating to Somalia. Sadly, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia and the President of Eritrea have lost the war and they have fled to Zimbabwe, the capital of Harare, to stay with Mengistu Haile Mariam, the firstborn of Haile Mariam Desalegn. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. So the question remains, who is really qualified to govern Ethiopia and Eritrea? The people of Ethiopia and Eritrea by now realize they have 2 options. Option A, the United States of America, and option B, North America, and option C, all of the above. Hashtag no more China and Russia. Oh dear, I've said too much. That sounded better in my head. My apologies. It's just that I'm allergic to the smell of toxic explosives from war. It makes me high. CNN propagating lies and information to attack and weaken the next nation. Stay tuned and get screwed. Ethiopia is calling out for 1 million Ethiopian diasporas to attend the Ethiopian Genna and Timkat festival this year. After the year-long war, this is going to be the most emotional celebration in the history of this country. No doubt the family reunions are going to be filled with tears of joy. Poor diasporas, they don't even see what's coming. They are going to be the substitutes for the Ethiopian army. They're going to be fighting the rebels with everything they got. Shampoos, conditioners, shower gels, deodorants and perfumes. It's always heartbreaking for the diaspora community coming all the way from wherever they are not to be throwing lemons in Timkat festival this year. They're going to be throwing their power banks and chargers at the enemy all day long. Happy holidays, diasporas. BBC News, propagating lies and information to neo-colonize the next nation. Stay tuned and get screwed. The devastation of this city is out of this world. It would take 100 years. Hello, sir. Yes. Is Addis out of our hands? Those bloody Jezebel rebels. Not to worry, sir. I'll come up with something. I'm a fake news making machine, sir. No worries. Finally, some good news. This is a moment Ethiopia and England have been waiting for. The tables have turned. The good-for-nothing rebels are losing the war. They are retreating so far up north with the speed of light. They have accidentally seized control of Massawa and Asmara. And now they are getting closer to Cairo. The people of Cairo are already welcoming the rebels with warm hospitality, and now they are chanting, Desi Habibi, Habibi Desi. We've had it with Al-Sisi. Oh, I don't think this is working, cameraman. My God. Do you want to switch jobs? I do the recording and you do the fake news. Why? Because we're running out of ammunition. We've been doing this before the war started. We are running out of lies. Who is going to believe BBC anymore? The sun has set on the BBC empire. Oh, wait a minute. Hello, Sir David. Do you want to do a documentary about dolphins, monkeys, cheetahs, Komodo dragons, deadly spiders in the Amazon, venomous snakes in Australia? No. My God. BBC News, propagating lies and information to neo-colonize the next nation. BBC News, running out of lies and spies. Stay tuned and get screwed. Cameraman, today we're doing fake news rehearsals. Fake news rehearsal 1. As you can see, Addis Ababa is safe and sound. Thousands of the Ethiopian diaspora have arrived in the capital city. Oh my God. Good news is so bloody boring. We have to raise the fake news bar, cameraman. Let's do this again. You're now watching BBC News, and now the headlines. What makes President Isaias Afwerki an exceptional leader? It's his undeniable ability to recruit finest agents on the field. We thought comedy was just a form of entertainment, and comedians were there to make us laugh. And we believed Tiffany Haddish's lines, like "She Ready" and "Lili," were purely for show business. Oh, think again. When Tiffany Haddish says "She ready," she means she's ready. Give me my next assignment, President Isaias Afwerki. And when she says "Lili," she means mission accomplished, the job is finished, celebration is needed. Comedians are the perfect undercover agents because nobody would take them seriously. Tiffany Haddish ain't no foolish. Just look at this picture right here. It doesn't take a genius to figure out that this is not a family visit. The handshake says it all. BBC will say anything you want it to say as long as you pay, because you can't make the scene if you don't have the green. We will turn stabilization into mass destruction before you know it. BBC News, propagating lies and information to neo-colonize the next nation. Stay tuned and get screwed. You're now watching CNN. And now the headlines. This is what Addis Ababa looked like yesterday for Christmas. And this is what Addis Ababa looks like today. Just look at their faces. There's nothing more dangerous than the combination of Kung Fu and the middle finger. The new flower has become the seat of the yellow power. The West still doesn't blame Ethiopia. There's plenty of room for repentance. It's a misunderstanding. Africans fail to realize the full meaning of the Nobel Peace Prize. Nobel Peace Prize, or in other words, no self-defense surprise. Ethiopians never learn from their mistakes. After sacrificing their lives for the independence of South Koreans or Asians back in the day, Ethiopians are not even compensated by Hyundai discounts in Addis. What a shame. When Ethiopians were complaining about the West's economic oppression, they are now stuck with the Chinese colonization. China clearly said, "Africa, I love you, but I'm not in love with you." When making deals with China, Ethiopians only saw the noodle, and the Chinese grabbed the jewel. It seems Ethiopians have forgotten the old Chinese saying, "Xin Jing Xing," which means, in life there is no free rice or family ties unless you pay me back in large supplies of mice. They should have relied on WFP, the World Food Program. Godspeed, Africa, with your new colonizer karate master. Ni hao and Imlinkao. You're watching CNN. CNN, propagating lies and information to neo-colonize the next nation. Stay tuned and get screwed. You're now watching BBC News, and now the headlines. The conflict between the Ethiopian government and the rebels is escalating by the minute. After careful consideration by the United Nations Security Council, the United Nations Security Council believes the only way to end this madness is by intervention of the cast of the Expendables. Jason Statham joins us from Addis Ababa.
Listen, BBC. Rule number 1, no names. Rule number 2, I work alone. And listen, BBC, this is not a movie. This is a real war. I can't take it anymore. They just killed Jet Li. Van Damme, get me out of here. Please, get me out of here. I'm going to die.
As you can see, the British patriot Jason Statham is completely neutralizing the situation in Addis. This war will be over before we know it. And now, one of the cast of the Expendables, Schwarzenegger, joins us from Addis Ababa. So, what else is new in Addis?
Come on, BBC! I just got shot! This is not a Marvel comic movie! Come on, this is a real African war! It's scary, come on, take me! Send me the chopper! The chopper!
As we all heard, the Terminator and the Eraser completely terminating all the problems in Addis. We've got one more cast from the Expendables. Sly, welcome to BBC.
Hey, listen, pal. The world is not full of sunshine and rainbows. Yeah.
Finally, some good news. Sly, Rambo, has confirmed that Ethiopia is full of rainbows and sunshines at the moment. UN Security Council, thank you. BBC News, we tell so many lies and we are so envious
we make Lucifer jealous. Propagating lies and information to invade the next nation. Stay tuned and get screwed.
You're now watching BBC News, and now the headlines. The British rebels in Ethiopia have seized control of the capital city of Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. The following images you're about to see are very disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. As you can see, the British rebels in Ethiopia are committing unspeakable atrocities to the Cake community. The Cake has no choice but to be held hostage and to be sliced in a brutal manner. White Cake being sliced by white rebels. What is this world coming to? BBC News, Ethiopia. Stay tuned. BBC World News. We tell so many lies, and we are so envious, we make Satan jealous. Propagating lies and information to invade the next nation. BBC is 100% propaganda.